So my grandfather, once upon a time, he ran a production company called Nepomuceno
Yeah.
Productions.
Uh-huh.
And Nepomuceno Productions was not just his film making space, but it was also kind of like an equipment rental kind of thing.
Okay.
And also like a production, so foreign clients could come in and basically book my
Yeah. Yes,
grandfather's
equipment,
business
yeah.
for everything. So that's how my grandfather became friends with like Francis Ford Coppola. And my grandfather would have conversations with the director of Sound of Music, director of Godfather, and they recognized him. They would go to awards and recognize my grandfather, and it was just a wild thing to hear.
It's super,
praise.
You know,
Wow.
high praise,
Yeah.
and these are people like at the top of their game in Hollywood, you know.
Yeah.
So my grandfather was really known for that. My great grandfather Jose Nepomuceno is, on paper, he is the father of Philippine cinema.
Yeah.
So with that title means he made the first ever Philippine film.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the
Yes.
Yeah.
First
Certain
ever
applause.
Philippine film.
I said like, wow.
yes.
Is that the what's the name of his first film?
So dahil sa isang bulaklak is my lolo's first film,
Your
which
lolo's
was
first film, yeah.
passed down by my great grandfather. Jose Nepomuceno wrote that, and he told my grandfather that I can't make this film for my time because technology won't allow me to.
Wow.
So I'm gonna pass it to you. So my grandfather decided to make that film because it had to be shot in colored. Yeah, in color. So dahil sa isang bulaklak was
Yeah.
that. Dalagang Bukid was my great grandfather's first ever film. But my great grandfather, his first ever project was he actually, not sure if it was filmed or photographed, the funeral of the first lady of President Quezon or
Wow.
something like that.
Yeah.
It was a funeral. So that was his first assignment, not
Ever.
as a film.
Yeah.
But my great grandfather started as purely as a photographer. He actually opened a
Okay.
studio in Manila called Parhelio Studios, which was the biggest portrait studio in Manila back then. Yeah, he made the first. He made a big photo studio, and he called it Parhelio because it was literally bringing light into the studio. My great grandfather was an electrician. He knew how to work with
With light.
lights and everything. So he created this. Shucks, I can't remember what it's called, but the same technology back then as welding. He was able to bring that light as a light source inside the studio, so that would provide that would feel like the sun inside the space. So Parhelio like the sun.
Wow.
Yeah, so that became a thing. Then he became a filmmaker, and then he passed it on to my grandfather, who was the only one from his siblings who wanted to become a filmmaker.